banking perspective, where ICICI Bank is said to have had exposure to Satyam and Matters, but whether various layers of the banking system could be involved in this fiasco. If it were to be so, would this mean that there are questions to be raised on the way the banking system is operating? Ira Dugal caught up with V Kamath in this exclusive interaction.
V Kamath may be ready to step down from active banking, but before he does, India's largest corporate fraud may give him enough cause to stop and think. While ICICI has not declared its exact exposure to Satyam and related entities, the bank says it is assessing any potential risks. ICICI has put a temporary freeze on most transactions related to the Satyam group until greater clarity emerges. But in the meantime, Kamath assures that the Indian banking system, including ICICI, are not significantly exposed.
I think in this particular case, we have not seen any significant bank exposure, so I think that issue doesn't arise. The larger system, these norms certainly are adhered to by banks, and these are again checked by various agencies over the year, whether it is the regulator itself or whether it is the independent external auditor. So I do not think there is anything to fear on that front.
Kamath also says that the involvement of bankers in the Satyam saga, as has been suggested by some, is unlikely, pointing out that the system has enough checks and balances in place, although he adds that it's not entirely impossible for a fraud to slip through.
Today, in a situation where most transactions, at least at the larger end, where you could have larger challenges, transactions are online. So I would believe that to say that transactions have passed through a bank, but not recorded, I don't think is possible. The other side, if it is fraud at somebody's end and you fabricate, there is very little that the constituents would come to know.
Even as Kamath and the rest of the nation waits for answers on who was involved and how the fraud was orchestrated, Kamath says it's important for the government to send a clear message to the global community.
In this case, the engagement was entirely external. So you have a whole set of large global companies interacting with this company. So to me, sending that statement was critical. I think what is now critical is to follow up on the initial steps to ensure that there is resolution.
Now Kamath hopes that those messages will be followed by some real action. In Mumbai, Ira Dugal for NDTV.